hokejs Latvijā nav tikai spēle. Hokejs ir visās mūsu sirdīs. Katru pavasari mēs gaidām lielos hokejas spēles. Un es gribu novēlēt 2023. gada pasaules čempionāts Rīgā. Nes mums prieka emocijas, rada mums hokeja brīnumu. Un lai mūsu valsts vienība izcīna vislielākās uzvaras hokeja pastāvēšanas vēsturē.
Labvakar, Riga. On behalf of the International Ice Hockey Federation, wonderful job done so far, and I wish all the participants, volunteers, fans a very good World Championship, and I declare the 2023 IIHF World Championship here in Riga open.
Latvia. On behalf of the International Ice Hockey Federation, I would like to say thank you to the Latvian Ice Hockey Federation, the public authority of the country, City of Riga, who made miracle organize this World Championship in only 11 months. Everything is settled, everything is done to have a huge competition. Let's live the game.
Ivars Punanov gets the start in goal for Latvia in front of this packed home crowd at the Arena Riga. And for Canada in goal, it's 26-year-old Sam Montembeault from Bécancour, Quebec. Plays for the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL, 38 games this year. And he gets the call against the Latvian team that beat Canada 2 years ago on the opening day in front of a few hundred fans in this arena. There are several thousand more here tonight.
This is why you come to this tournament. For games like this, against this kind of opponent, this kind of crowd. That's what makes it fun.
Andre Tournier behind the Canadian bench, last coach the Canadian team at the World Junior Championship in 2021. He's got 4 members of that team here in this tournament. A very young Canadian group. And Latvian fans known throughout the world for their passion, their noise.
When it's hosted in a different country, it takes 200 or 300 of them to take over an arena, let alone sold out, standing room only, all pro Latvian crowd tonight. It should be wild.
Joe Veleno will face off against Rodrigo Eballs. A veteran Latvian team. All of these Latvians have played at least 4 World Championships. Their win over Canada 2 years ago was their first ever against Canada. There's a draw in their history.
The previous game to that, Canada had won it in overtime in 2018. So it's not like they've been blown out the last couple times through. They had a good pre-tournament exhibition season. Other teams respect not only as the host, but as a team playing pretty well, then there'll be a challenge.
Christophe Zile plays that down to the Canadian zone. It's moved back in by Uvis Balinskas. At the line, trying to slide it out with Sammy Blais for Canada. And Mackenzie Weegar chips it back to center ice for Milan Lucic, making his Canadian national team debut at the tender age of 34.
Just means he's been on a lot of good teams that are in the playoffs every year.
Brought right in, that hard shot taken there by Rudolph Baltzers. The San Jose draft pick who plays for now for Syracuse in the American Hockey League. He's in the Tampa organization. Peyton Krebs for Cody Glass. Lawson Krause in, scores! 52 seconds in, Lawson Krause scores on Canada's first shot to make it 1-0.
Just the start you're hoping for. Of course you want the goal, but settle yourselves. Try to settle the crowd and get the game going the way you want it. Peyton Krebs makes it all happen. Breaking out, buying time, hits Cody Glass coming late. Broken play, but Lawson Krause with his hands almost together releases this one, and that's one that Budanov's got to save. Slips at 5-0, he's going laterally, gets it above the stick, below the knees, and Krause gets Canada on the board.
24 goals this year for Krause in Arizona, back-to-back 20-goal seasons for him. He's one of 5 Canadian players who's won gold in the World Junior Championship previously. He was part of that powerhouse team in Toronto in 2015. Another chance in front. Jack Quinn digging for it. That's knocked away by Carlos Chukste. Here, Olivier Joseph slides that back ahead for Canada. Chukste lost the puck to Scott Lawton, the veteran Philadelphia Flyer. Lawton spins it back down. Quinn on it. And here's Joseph. Joseph, the defenseman, way in deep. Slides that back to Quinn. Lobs it back in the corner for Glass. Here's Cody Glass back with it. Banks it down, and Chukste takes it away for Latvia. Off the bench came Andrej Zaric. That puck up his skates. Here's Ethan Bear with it. Across he goes to Tyler Myers, his fellow Vancouver Canuck. Cody Glass chips it down. And scooped up by Peyton Krebs. Krebs tries to slide that ahead to the goal mouth. It goes. Now it's held by Krebs. Feeds it across the glass. Flips it back, and Budanovs punches that away.
Get this line right back out there. They scored a goal. They're jumping shifts to get another crack at it.
Krause plays for coach Andre Tournier in Arizona. Slides it across. Glass for Krause. Back in. A backhand shot. Stopped by Budanov. Here's Krebs on it. Banks it back to Jake Middleton. Native of Stratford, Ontario. Plays it back in. On the forecheck is Jack McBain. Getting his first shift in the tournament is 18-year-old Adam Fantilli from Nobleton, Ontario. Tremendous year for him this season so far. The Rookie of the Year, the Hobie Baker winner, is the top player in U.S. college hockey. He's an 18-year-old, a gold medalist at the World Junior Championship in Halifax. And likely to go number 2 overall in the upcoming NHL draft.
I love that he decided to come here. Not worried about any downside or draft status. He wants the experience of a university-age player playing at the Worlds for Canada. It does not happen very often.
Joseph fires that down, and Zile is back to pick it up for Latvia. You can feel the building shaking. Joe Veleno works in. And that play just offside at the Latvian blue line.
Lawson Krause will be counted on to produce offense. Almost gets a second one here. Takes this pass it tight, tries to go backhand upstairs, and just the top of the shoulder pad for Budanov keeps it aside, or that would have been his second of the game already. Him wearing an A, always a distinct honor. You get a Canadian jersey with an A on it.
Native of Mount Bridges, Ontario.
He's really turned into a very good NHL player. Slowly but steadily gotten better over the years.
Brad Hunt, a late addition to the Canadian lineup. Moves in and plays that down. Sammy Blais on it now. Blais Banks that back to Hunt. Cross he goes to Myers. Down to Valeno. Joe Valeno. Spins it behind the Latvian goal. Valeno on the Detroit Red Wings plays it back to Hunt for Myers. Myers chops that back in. Picked up by Roberts Memchits. But Valeno back on the forecheck. And Valeno slammed into Luchmelis. Hans Luchmelis. Plays in Sweden, flips that down. Latvian players are all over the world now. They're domestically collapsed. They were here in Riga. This used to be the home rink of their KHL team. They're not playing in that league anymore. And the domestic league couldn't make a go of it either, as Lawton back out of that Y.
And usually about 15 or 16 of the national team players would have played for Riga together all year.
Right.
And now they're, as you mentioned, spread all around the world.
Roberts Bukarts playing in his world champion for Lawton. Up for Kraus. Tangles there with Balinskis. Now back at the point, Middleton across to McKenzie. Uyghur, a long shot, score! Uyghur sneaks it through. Might have been tipped by Scott Lawton. And Canada's got a 2-0 lead less than 5 minutes in.
Well, that's one way to silence the crowd. As a good forecheck, Lawson Kraus gets his stick in on the attempted reverse and the fly-by high screen tip. Those are so hard to save for goaltenders. He's got to rise up because the puck's coming in the chest, and he's got to get down as Lawton gets it through the legs of Putinov, and oh my.
A goalie change for Latvia right away.
We are 4 minutes and 56 seconds into the game.
Artur Silovs, who played for Vancouver this year, 5 games for the Canucks, spent most of the year with Abbotsford, the American League, comes in. The 22-year-old was a 6th-round pick of the Canucks.
That would just be unbelievably disappointing for Putinov. Here in Latvia, all the hype going up against Canada, and
gave up 2 goals on 5 shots.
I mean, the first one was a soft one, second one a high tip. What are you going to do? But just trying to shock his team into the game.
Latvia's win over Canada in 2021 was keyed by the goaltending of the late Matas Kivlenieks, who was terrific in that game and that tournament. Kivlenieks passed away tragically not long afterwards. And Kraus gets a stick on that. It goes rocketing into the Canadian bench, almost hit the equipment man, Paul Boyer, but he's got good hands. Corrals that.
He took it in the shoulder, having a little fun down there on the Canadian bench. As Latvia just has to take a breath. I imagine, as we talk about the crowd impacting Canada, the idea of playing at home would impact the Latvians as well.
The Latvian players, to a man, have been talking for the last few days about how much they've looked forward to this. In 2021, because of COVID, there was a limit to the number of fans. The players were bubbled. There was a curfew in the city. This city's been electric for the last 48 hours, especially with fans looking forward to this. But worth remembering, when Latvia beat Canada that year at the World Championship, then they followed with overtime losses to Kazakhstan and Norway. They lost their last round-robin game to Germany and didn't make the quarters. Now a bouncing puck in front. Jack McBain pokes that across, and Myers plays it out. Michael Carcone moves in, drops that back for Krebs. That shot was blocked. McBain back on it. Canadian Olympian last year. McBain with Arizona in the NHL this year. Penalty coming to Latvia. As they touch up, they're going to find themselves in a hole here, down 2 and short-handed in Riga. It's a little quieter than it was. A 2-0 lead for Canada. And then Janis Jaks goes off for interference, and Canada gets its first power play of the tournament. Jack Quinn of the Buffalo Sabres plays that back to Mackenzie Weegar, to Tyler Toffoli with a shot. He ripped that wide. Here's Quinn back on it. Glass taps it back to Weegar. Across to Quinn. Centers it for Glass. Cody Glass fans with that pass, gathers it back up. Banks it back to Quinn. Weegar to Toffoli, loads up and shoots. That was blocked in front by Mamchits.
He's eyeing that far glove side. We got a perfect angle from our vantage point. Toffoli thinks he can beat Silovs over the glove.
Weegar takes the pass from Quinn. Weegar shoots, and it's knocked away by Silovs. Back at the point is Weegar. Slides it across to Quinn. Quinn, little tap pass in front. Glass rolled that just wide. On the feed from Lawton. Back at the point, held by Quinn. Jack Quinn for Glass. That pass just misfired for Toffoli. Toffoli to Weegar. Now Quinn goes after it. Jack Quinn, 14 goals this year in his first full NHL season. Top 10 pick of the Sabres a couple of years ago. Weegar tees it up and shoots. That was blocked in front by Abols. At the line, held by Weegar. Abols' second try, plays it to center ice, knocked down by Toffoli. Latvia can't get tired penalty killers off. Toffoli's shot was blocked. And Kasper Dogovic, the captain, plays it back down to the Canadian zone. And here's Adam Fantilli with it. Across to Joseph. Krebs goes after it. Fantilli comes in as well. That's moved by Krause and back down the ice. Here, Olivier Joseph of the Pittsburgh Penguins. His brother Matthew plays for Ottawa. Rouse Freeberg moves out ahead. The teams are back to even strength. Reynolds Kenich moves in now for Latvia. Kenich slammed into Joseph. And now Joe Veleno pokes at it. Here's Myers. Veteran of 2 World Championships back in 2010 and 2014. Won a gold medal with Canada in the 2009 World Junior Championship in Ottawa.
Amazing, him and Toffoli are the only 2 players who've played in the Worlds before for Canada.
Martin Zirkals plays that back. Balinska's a long shot deflected wide. Richard Bucharts. Muscle off the puck there for a moment by Jack McBain, who plays it back out. Now Lucic hunting down Zile. Lucic was like a kid yesterday looking forward to this. Now the pass is picked up. Andrashis shoots! And the save made by Montembeault got just a piece of that. Andrashis plays it back. And Roberts Bucharts with a shot knocked away by Montembeault.
Couple of good touches by Montembeault, get himself into the game. 10 minutes in.
Montembeault was a member of the Canadian World Junior team in 2016, but didn't play in that championship in Finland. Now Fantilli moves ahead. Slides it across, and Batya knocked that away. Lead pass for Andrashis, but coming off the bench to disrupt that was Justin Barron. Carconi back at center ice, picked up by Fantilli. Adam Fantilli moves in, drops it back to Neighbors. Neighbors pees it back, hammered that wide. The glass bounce back in the slot. Fantilli back after it.
Just running around out there.
Kenich spilled it just inside the Latvian blue line. You got a hint there of Fantilli's speed, and we saw him at the World Junior Championship. He's had a great year in college, but the NHL guys in the Canadian roster, to a man, were impressed with his speed in their early practices. Canada was in Hungary for a week, played the Hungarians in Budapest, arrived here a couple of days ago. And a play called offside at the Latvian line. 2-0 Canada leads on day 1 of the World Championship. here in Riga earlier today. Czechia beat Slovakia 3-2 in a hard-fought opener for those two teams. And the United States stunned Finland 4-1 in Tampere.
Tough start for the hosts in each respective city.
Puck loose along the boards to Foley going after it, knocked away by Ralph Freibergs. Dogovic moves it ahead for Rodrigo Abels. Moving in on Bear, and Ethan Bear strips him of the puck. Now the centering pass is kicked away by Hunt. Brought back up by Toffoli. Out of Toffoli with a bouncing bucket across the line. Tries to drop that back for Lawton. Now picked up by Toffoli. Toffoli shoots right off the crossbar. Yeah, hit the bar, went up and out of play. Took that away quickly.
Shooter, shoot your shot. And Tyler Toffoli was talking to us yesterday. His sticks didn't arrive with his gear.
No.
So he had to order some extra ones. And they got here in time, and check out this angle. Wow, that's right at the nub of the crossbar and the post. Silovs is tested short side high.
Now Kraus drops it back to Glass with a shot. He ripped that wide. Zile sprawled to try to block that.
This line has had good looks every time they've been on the ice. Glass, Krebs, and Kraus.
Putting Glass in his second year with the Nashville Predators. Now Batya drops that back, and that long shot was blocked in front, taken by Valinskas. At the point, held by Zile. Lays it back down. It's picked off by Uyghur. Around he goes to Krebs. Krebs fishes that free for Glass. The center ice for Kraus. That was knocked away by Valinskas. Dragis scored the opening goal for Latvia in that game against Canada in 2021, the 2-0 win. Ronald's Kennich for Janis Jaks. Shoots, that goes high. Back at the point, Sabolskas. Tangled up, here's Jaks with it. He fires, that deflected just wide. Kennich standing with a Sandy Blay there.
Keep your head up at 91.
Now fished towards the goal by Lakshmelis. And Blay works it free for Myers. Out to center ice for Lucic, trying to chip that across, and Kennich has it back for Latvia. Oh, look out, Jaks was just missed there by Blay. Myers in a battle there with Rudolph Baltzers. The puck is picked up by Valeno. With a high stick, and play is called.
Things have started to settle in here in this game. Latvia's found their footing. Got some plays in the offensive zone. Had a good look here on this flyby tip again. There's Baltzers popping in behind the coverage of Myers. And Montevo has to make a quick leg save with that one. There's the wrecking ball, Kennich.
Yeah.
Who had a cup of coffee in Vancouver, but played this year in Lausanne in Switzerland.
A league not known for its physical play.
He's been storing it up all year to let her fly in the Worlds. Now there's one of those new international rules. You're not supposed to win the face-offs with your feet as a centerman. You blow that down, you get kicked out. So a reminder.
Guy Carbonneau would not have liked that rule.
It was a staple of how you took face-offs. You use his hands, his feet, whatever.
Use your hand, it's a penalty. Fantilli up the center ice, and McBain steamrolls his man Mancheats. And a penalty coming now to Canada's Jack McBain.
It's probably got to be interference for McBain, I would imagine.
That's the indication. Latvia to the power play. Jack McBain, a Toronto native, is dead. Andrew, a rough and tumble NHL player, primarily for the Winnipeg Jets.
So McBain gets the interference. He thinks Mancic is going to catch this puck. He does not. He might have got him off. He might have touched it, actually.
Touched it, so
that probably is okay. Looked worse. It certainly was reacted to as an infraction.
So Latvia to the power play, and a chance to get back in this with 7 to go in the first period. Lott on the face-off. It's moved back to the point. Yaks is it back in for Dogovic. Kenich digging for it. Krause out there to kill as well. A-balls. Feeds that down. Gets the return pass from Anderson. On the centering pass knocked away by Krause, and a chance there for Dogovic. He ripped it that wide. Dogovic, longtime captain of this Latvian national team. And that bumped away back down the ice.
So you see Mackenzie Weegar first power play, first penalty kill. So expect him to be at the 23, 24 minutes by the end of the game, if it's a close game.
Dennis Yaks for Kenich, picked off by Veleno. Kept alive by Dogovic. Kenich drops that back. Abel's a shot that trickles just wide. And the puck cleared by Myers. Goes off the glass and out.
Good release there by Dogovic into the middle. Get it to the weak side as Canada's trying to flood one half of the ice. And Montembeault makes the short side save. Just trickles through him as Theo Joseph's doing a little dental work headed to the bench. He got clipped with something down in front.
He was talking to the officials, but clean face-off win by Cody Glass. Weegar's got time and sends it down. Weegar, of course, went from Florida to Calgary as part of that Matthew Tkachuk, Jonathan Huberdeau trade. Here's Bucharts. Ran into Quinn there, and the play's offside at the Canadian line, and Richard Bucharts is up and arguing.
You can hear DJ Smith applauding the Canadian penalty killers for holding the blue line. This big ice surface, it's very easy to drift in your own end, concede the offensive zone. And something Canada will be working on is to try to keep their first line of defense outside the blue line while shorthanded.
Now Toffoli works in, gets a step, and he's poke check at the last moment by Belinskas. And Belinskas takes him down hard. They're tangled in the corner.
Sit on him if you can. Keep him down there if you're Belinskas.
Brought back now by Zirkals. He's poke checked.
Toffoli was thinking about slipping in for a breakaway.
Drashis feeds it back in front, and it's tapped away by Richard Bucharts. They'll play it across the Drashis. Rolling puck, shoots. Montembeault save. The rebound batted away by Lott. It's high in the slot. Zirkals couldn't find it. Middleton goes back after it. And the teams are back to even strength. Toffoli drops it off McBain. McBain works in, centers it, that's blocked by Sealogs. Lawton works it free. Lawton for Toffoli. And now Hunt goes back to pick it up. Native of Maple Ridge, BC. Brad Hunt plays it across for Ethan Bear. Sabolskas lined up by Glass. And Peyton Krebs after it. Glass works it free. Feeds it across. That's hacked wide by Krause. Krause, one of the veterans of this Canadian team at the ripe old age of 25. Krebs, just 22. Glass, 24. Montembeault out to play it. Gives it back for Hunt. Out for Krebs. Scooped up by Baltzers. Picked off by Blais. Sammy Blais works in. Poke check by Zile. And now Blais got spun around. He ran into Sealogs. And the crowd hollering about that. Sent down the ice by Justin Barron. And icing called against Canada.
Latvia has gotten themselves in trouble in this game when they turn pucks over in the neutral zone. When they get it in deep, power play or 5-on-5, they give themselves a chance. And right here, you said it, Buchart's got to just wheel and fire that puck on the net. Catch it right in the slot. Eventually works himself over to Drasis. But do not turn down any shots if you're Latvia. Both Buchart's brothers do like to shoot. We've seen over the years.
If they have a garage door, it must look awful. Veleno got spun around. Mum cheats. Played that back ahead, and Lucic has it. Back for Weegar. Barron. That pass picked off at center ice by Toms Anderson. In on Barron, who rides him off the puck, and it's picked up now by Blais. Sammy Blais returned to St. Louis this year, traded there as part of the Vladimir Tarasenko deal. Missed almost the entire year the year before after a collision with PK Subban, tore his ACL. Lead pass from McBain goes right on goal to Seelovs. Sweeps that away. At center ice, that's knocked down by Joseph and played back by Carcone. Fantilli chips it back down to the Latvian zone. Carcone plays it back in. Years ago, a young draft eligible went to the World Championship, and Paul Kariya first on the Canadian scene as a young star.
After a pretty solid freshman year in Maine.
Having already played in the World Junior, won gold. Kariya, so Fantilli on the same path.
I think Kariya had 100 points his first year in college, which was the year before I arrived.
Now a chance for Lawton, shoots! And Seelovs makes the save. Lawton in there digging. Gets pushed away. Canada leads 2-0. 2:08 to go in the first period. Here in Riga, for all the talk about Latvia beating Canada at the World Championship in 2021, its best game ever against Canada was in the Olympics in 2014. The quarterfinal, that stacked Canadian team that rolled through that tournament, it was 1-1 in the third period until Shea Weber scored a power play goal for Canada. Christos Gudlevskis, who was here at this World Championship, he's not dressed in this game today, was brilliant.
Is that the one where they snuck one guy out of one door and out the other?
Yep. He allowed 2 goals on 57 shots against one of the greatest lineups ever sent to the Olympics. Ethan Bear treads that pass in for Lawton and rolls off his stick. Ralph Freiberg slides it across to Yanis Yaks. Spent 8 years in North America, including a couple of years with Bakersfield in the American League. A number of these Latvian players do have North American experience. Yaks playing this year in Litvinov in the Czech League.
They definitely have added some stamps on their passports the last year or so.
Well, they qualified for the Olympics in 2022, won the Olympic qualification tournament here in this arena. They have more games played at the World Championship than any other team in the tournament.
The most experienced roster when it comes to the World Championship.
Nearly 700 games played between the players on their roster. Latvia has filled out its group. Canada, by the way, has 2 open spots. You're allowed 22 skaters, 3 goaltenders. Canada does have 2 open spots rather. Unlikely they fill them. It's a balancing act. Asking guys to come over here and then healthy scratching them can be difficult. Unless you make that clear at the start, that might be the case.
Yeah, you think about a guy like Michael Carcone who didn't play in the NHL, perhaps he might have been advised of that possibility, but no, they like to pick the group, commit to them. If you're going to commit to coming, then you get to commit to playing.
Switzerland, meantime, has spots for 4 skaters still, and a goalie.
Not suggesting they're rooting against Jersey, but with Hischer, Siegenthaler, Schmid, Meyer on that team. they weren't devastated by their loss.
No. Probably don't get Meyer.
Not with his contract situation, no.
Yeah.
The other ones have been pretty loyal national team participants.
Roman Josi thought hard about playing for Switzerland. He's coming off a concussion. Sammy Blais pokes at it. Here's Balchers with it.
So what you want to do, though, is play Switzerland early on in the round robin before all those guys might show up.
They can get Kevin Fiala as well.
That would change the complexion of that team big time. They'd introduce probably the two best players on this side of the bracket.
Canada plays Switzerland a week from tomorrow.
Too many men here.
Yep.
Call? Or no, it's just an icing that they're going to wave off Carconi and get Sammy Blais back on the ice.
Carconi looked back, though. Thought he got one.
He looked guilty. Canada now just throw as many guys on the ice to confuse everybody before we get the final 5 that were on the ice for the icing. Important for Canada to get out of these last 23 seconds, up 2-0. Hot start that has settled in the rest of this period.
Here's Yaxon, it shoots, and Montembeault makes the save on that. And Montembeault was picked up on waivers from Florida back in October of 2021, and he's kind of taken the ball and run with it in Montreal.
Well, he has. His first year there, he was just okay. You weren't quite sure if he was going to be an NHL goaltender or not, but this year, on a team that was thin at times, he was one of the real bright spots for the Montreal Canadiens, establishing himself as a legitimate NHL goaltender.
Devin Levi of the Buffalo Sabres is backup today. Joel Hofer is also here from the St. Louis Blues. Now, Dogovic centered that, went through the feet of Toms Anderson's, picked up by Toffoli, who sends it back down to the Latvian zone. And time expires here at the end of the first period, and Canada storms out to a 2-0 lead, and that's the advantage after 20 minutes.
Canada 9, Latvia 8. Shots on goal in the first period. Team Canada 9, Latvia 8. Tampere Azoros zakończyli na początku tej zmiany sytuacji z komandami rezultat prima perioda 0-0. In Tampere, the score between Team Sweden and Team Germany after the first period score is 0-0. goal in the first.
Let's go! Let's go, guys! That's good! Let's go! Let's go! Hey! Stop. Everything is correct. Good job, buddy.
Lawson Krause opened the scoring in this game just 52 seconds in. Scott Lawton follows up, and Canada's got a 2-0 lead after one period, day one of the 2023 World Championship. We already have our first moderate upset to report. The United States over Finland, 4-1, the host Finns. In Tampere, Finland, where the semifinals and finals will be played as well.
Finland would have been the pre-tournament favorite to win gold.
Sure, you get Mikko Rantanen for one thing. I mean, and they've been very successful of late in this tournament. They do very well here. So Artur Silovs comes on in relief of Ivars Perunovs. Stops all 4 shots he faces. While Sam Montembeault in the Canadian goal faces 8 Latvian shots and stops them all. And the team start this second period at even strength. And Joe Veleno taken in hard by Rodrigo Abel. Lucic, his first big hit, bouncing puck in front. Great stop there by Montembeault, point blank on Abel. Another chance in front. And reaching for that was Tom Anderson's. Didn't get to him. Lucic picks it off and swings it rink wide for Sammy Blais. Takes the return pass from Middleton. And Jake Middleton into the forecheck from the Canadian blue line. A-ball's lined up there by Lucic, and it's sent back down to the Canadian zone.
It's amazing how Lucic's reputation as being a great hitter translates everywhere.
Brought in by Krause, works in and backhands that wide. Grabs back on it. And Indrashis sends that rink wide to Batya. Latvian players are scattered all over leagues in Europe and North America. There was an informal league with Lithuanian and Latvian teams this year. Mostly junior players played in that, though. Freiberg's with it. Ralph Freiberg's. Been a couple of years at Bowling Green State University, the Harvard of the Midwest.
I knew I liked that guy for some reason.
School that gave us the one and only Michael P. Johnson. McMellis with a shot that's knocked away. McMellis has to retreat. Toffoli moves in with Quinn. Tyler Toffoli walks in and fires. And the save is made by Silovs.
He is a shooter by nature. It's a quick little 2-on-1 here. Jack Quinn's on the far side. He's got a back checker on him. He doesn't even look to spread out or evaluate other options. He just looks to shoot right away. Put that on net. And here's a great save earlier. A-balls. Oh, he gets it up too, and Montembeault kicks it aside. His best of the game. Off a Leno stick, a pile in front. That is well done by Sam Montembeault. Since the first 5 minutes, this game has been very even.
Right.
Which is not a surprise.
Crossing back is Uyghur. Forecheck there by Richards Bukarts, and now Sabolskas has it back. Montembeault to play it. Leaves it there for Hunt. And Quinn snaps that pass rink wide. Uyghur there to sweep it down to the Latvian zone. Latvia has played in the top division of the World Junior Championship each of the last 2 years in Halifax. They survived by beating Austria in the relegation round. As McBain works in, Carcone shoots short side, save made by Silovs. Bear back across to Middleton, shoots, and Silovs kicks that away. McBain kicks that back to Middleton. Across he goes to Bear. Fantilli shoots it back in for Carcone. And Carcone drops that back. Middleton got the shot away, and Silovs makes the save.
You see what Carcone can bring. You might not be familiar with him after spending most of his year in Tucson, had 9 games in Arizona, but 31 goals in the minors. It's a lot And apparently he's just got a tremendous release. You saw it there. Catch, release, gets it right up. Seeloff with a pretty good shoulder save. And clearly the Arizona Brain Trust under Touring here, and Shane Doan would be familiar with what he could bring.
Carcone from Ajax, Ontario, just east of Toronto. Now Valeno winds his way in. Joe Valeno pivots back on A-balls. Backhands it back in front. That's knocked away by Freyberg. Dogovic. So popular here in Latvia, his name was the Wi-Fi password in 2021.
That's right. I remember that. There's Kasper Dogovic. You remember him with the Ottawa Senators? Famously had the penalty shot where he put the toe of his stick on it.
Yeah.
And went in and tried to find the back of the net.
Played parts of 3 NHL seasons with Ottawa and Boston. He was an Ottawa third-round pick in 06. Played the OHL for St. Mike's. Yeah. A 3-time Olympian going back to 2010 for Latvia. In comes Kraus, one-on-one with Cebulski. Or Trixie, rather. And that shot by Glass goes high off the glass. Anderson's got tangled up there with Kraus. Glass back on it. Poke free by Kraus. Now Krebs comes in. Pops it back for Glass. That pass is picked off. Indrashis up for Andersons. That's intercepted by Glass. Cody Glass sweeps it ahead for Krebs. Krebs drops it back for Glass. A couple of Vegas draft picks who were traded early on in their careers. Krebs went to Buffalo as part of the Eichel deal. Glass went to Nashville as part of a 3-way trade. The Vegas Golden Knights have not been shy of trading their prospects. Yachts shoots. That deflector went just wide. And Josh is back on it. And Quinn back with it. Jack Quinn. Rink wide, he goes to Lawton in with the Foley. Lawton centering pass, tipped away. And Quinn back on it. Quinn drops it down to Myers. In for Toffoli. Out to Toffoli, banks that back. Here with Joseph with a pass that draws Myers out of the zone. And here's Toffoli back with a career-high 34 goals this year for Calgary. Second time in his career he's cracked the 30-goal mark.
Some offensive players like playing for Daryl Sutter. He's one of them. Did well with LA, well with Calgary.
Kenich winds in, lifts that wide of the goal. And Roberts boot cards couldn't reach that. Kenich back for Zeeland. Feeds it back across. And Belinskas with a shot that was blocked by Lawton. That took a fight out of Scott Lawton. He's slow to get to his feet. Lawton limping noticeably, stays out there.
I almost wonder if you're that hobbled, is it worth even staying on the ice?
A long way to go to the bench in this period. And he finally makes his way there now. Kenich taking a shot away. He falls. And Carcone brings it back out with Fantilli and McBain. In comes McBain, centers it. And Fantilli sweeps that back to Bear. Ethan Bear for Fantilli. Native of Nobleton, Ontario, northwest of Toronto. Tries to center it, bouncing puck goes back to Bear. Drops that back to Hunt. Crossing goes to McBain. Now Hunt tees it up and shoots. Bouncing puck from Carcone reaching for it. Seelov's down, gets a glove on that. And is able to hang on. And McBain gets buried in front. Two 2-0 Canada leads here in the second.
Hundreds of volunteers will be working during the tournament. Over 30 volunteers cheer always matches for the Ukraine. And without that group of listeners, wouldn't we have this beautiful tournament World Hockey Championship? On the hockey team, Canada Slam is getting a process. Hockey team, Spanish, Rio. And as the thing, we would like to reward one volunteer per game. On she's Spanish,
Arena Riga. Canada leads 2-0 here. In 2021, the entire tournament was played on this block. This arena and the field house across the street was converted into a hockey rink. Of course, the players were all bubbled then. Fans were, for the most part, not allowed in the buildings. Our ears were still ringing from the Czech-Slovak game earlier.
Yeah.
When the Latvians piled in for this one. Here's Mackenzie Weegar. Walks in and shoots. Whistle Dutch just wide. Weegar from Nepean, Ontario, just outside Ottawa. Down for Lucic. Thunder onto the scene as the Memorial Cup MVP back in 2007 for the Vancouver Giants. He threw that in front. Play couldn't reach it. Another pile up here. Valeno thrown down.
How many shots is Zarinch going to get to the back of Valeno's head? One too many, apparently.
Looks like they're picking him out.
As they should. I mean, you get away with one, but not five. Valeno didn't do anything wrong there. He's just driving the net, looking to stay off Silovs. I understand Zarinch doesn't like anyone near his goaltender, but you just can't take free pops to the back of the guy's head.
Roughing is the penalty on Zarinch, playing in his 12th World Championship.
Here you see the battle. Take to the net. Nothing wrong there. Nothing going on. And then 1, 2. Face rake. I mean, like, come on. What are we talking about here? Hey, what's wrong with that? Canada goes to the power play, and you know what? These are the moments. Canada's still working through a lot of stuff. They haven't had a ton of time together.
Right.
Power plays, personnel, systems, penalty kill. They're getting live practice in games.
So it's Valeno out there with Krause.
It's the second
Krause
unit.
and Fantilli. Pierre-Levé Joseph, the defenseman, leads the rush as he jumps into the corner. Back at the point, Krebs. Knocked that away from Dogovic. Fantilli up for Krause. He's tied up by A-balls. Here's Joseph with it. Up for Krebs. Peyton Krebs lifts out ahead, kicks it back in the corner, intercepted, and the line held by Joseph. Back for Fantilli. Fantilli. For the goal mouth he goes. Krause sweeps it across. Valeno couldn't reach it. In comes Kenich. Along with Balzer. Kenich. Tied up by Krebs and moved back down to the Latvian zone. Inside a minute to go in this Canadian power play. Sabolska slaps it down. Batya goes after it. 6'5", 230-pound Oskars Batya battling for it. Weegar drops that back. Brought ahead by Lott. In for Quinn. Jack Quinn drops for Cody Glass. Shoots! That's punched away by Silov. To Foley. For Lott. Top power play unit up there now. To Foley. To Weegar. To Quinn. Jack Quinn drops it back to Weegar. In, shoots, scores! Mackenzie Weegar on the power play at 3-0 Canada.
Took a while for Canada to get it into the offensive zone, get set up, and when they did, Mackenzie Weegar finds the back of the net on a heavy wrister. 2-point night for Mackenzie Weegar. And you see Zerkal 17 for Latvia. He's worried about Tyler Toffoli, so he stays really wide. So there's no real support underneath to block that shot. Basically, Quinn and Weegar are playing a 2-on-1 against Batya. He gets dragged out of the way. Tremendous screen from Cody Glass. Silovs looks left. Puck goes right. And if it's going to hit his body, it's going to be a lucky break. Weegar with an old school wrister. Somewhere Wendell Clark is smiling as he puts it over the shoulder. And I think they're, well, they're not arguing over the penalty, but maybe goaltender activity. TJ Smith, the assistant, Andre Tourigny, working the defense for Canada.
Smith, a rough and tumble defenseman back in his day.
We were teammates briefly in Toronto when I first turned pro, and he jumped out of Windsor, the OHL, to play a few games at the end of, we were both basically playing our first few games at the same time. And yes, rough and tumble is what he was.
I actually sat next to him in the press box the day he signed with Toronto. And this is before direct deposit. He spent the entire game staring at the bonus check he got. He just stared at the check. Brought up by Balinskis. Balinskis goes rink wide. Anderson shoots. That was blocked by Myers. Mamchis. Back for Chukstay. Shoots, and Montembeau got just a piece of that.
Confusion in front of their own net. Canada took a while to sort it out. A couple open sticks for Latvia.
Canada changing now as Krause fires it in. Lawson Krause was traded by Florida to Arizona. That was the bonus that Arizona got to take, the David Bolin contract.
What a deal for Arizona. What a deal.
Bolin's contract was insured. So they basically got a free player for him. And Krause has had back-to-back 20-goal years for the Coyotes.
Into a real important piece for that franchise.
Krebs banks out ahead, picked up by Glass. The first ever Vegas Golden Knights draft pick was Cody Glass. One of 3 first-round picks they had that year, along with Nick Suzuki and Eric Randstrom. All 3 were traded not long afterward.
Can't say they weren't good picks. They turned into good players. Certainly Glass and Suzuki have.
Lott back to Hunt. Myers winds and shoots. That was blocked by Andrashis. Lott recepts towards the goal, tipped in front, just wide from Toffoli. Look how Toffoli's pass just about hit DJ Smith.
He was trying to bank it in. It wasn't a pass. He was trying to put it. He's telling him he's trying to put it back off your shoulder. He fired it in his own bench from below the goal line.
Canada leads here in Riga. In Tampere at this hour, Sweden and Germany are scoreless in the second period.
Would Germany be watching the Edmonton series with?
Yeah.
I mean,
Toffoli shoots from a sharp angle, knocked away by Silovs.
One could hope. Unlikely as it might be.
Balters for Lakshmelis. Flips that down to the Canadian zone. So a variation of the goodbye song is Hey Hey Latvia.
It took me a minute to figure out what they're saying. Is it a little early to be doing the goodbye chants?
Especially your own team.
When your own team is losing.
Bouncing puck knocked down by Montembeau. Plays it around to McBain. Hunt chips it ahead. And now McBain works in, drops it back to Carcone. Carcone weaves in, finds Weegar. Goal and assist so far for Weegar today. His centering pass bounces back to Middleton. Down he goes to Carcone. Trying to throw that back in front, picked off. And Zirkals brings it up for Latvia. Latvia right back in action tomorrow against Slovakia. The first of 5 straight games for the Latvians where their opponent has played the night before. Now a chance in front, a poke check there on Carcone by Silovs.
Nicely done by Silovs. Carcone had a moment where he's thinking, do I shoot this or do I go between my legs? Silovs jumped all over him.
Silov's a 6th round pick by Vancouver 4 years ago.
It's not a good year to be a goaltender in Vancouver the first 60 games.
Got lots of experience anyway.
Got a lot. That's right. Faced a lot of action. Was tested. And see him wearing the Vancouver gear. And he turns to the side. Carcone, who's looked good in this early part. He was gonna maybe go 5-hole, but Silovs beats him to it. Great look at it here. It's all a feel thing for goaltenders when the guy might be vulnerable, not looking at you, because if you miss, you're gonna get scored on.
0 or 0. Freyberg to Dogovic, plays it back across him, cheats with a shot, kicked out by Montembeault. And Fantilli comes back the other way. A pass broken up by Freyberg. Fantilli bangs that wide of the goal.
Little thing there, Fantilli has a mini break. Instead of trying to go and chase offense, he chips it in knowing he probably should change around this time. Coaches will see that and appreciate it. Whereas a guy who's probably, when he's at school, can stay a little later and look for the offense.
He had 30 goals in 36 games for Michigan as an 18-year-old freshman. Actually began the year as a 17-year-old.
That's impressive stuff.
Drop back. Polinskas walks in, taking a shot away as Myers with a long reach, poked that away. Polinskas plays that rink wide, and the shot ripped wide by Chooksdale. Roberts Buchart's back for it. Up to center ice. Bouncing puck picked up by Glass. Up ahead for Krebs. In comes Peyton Krebs with a chance. Canada's changing. Krebs drops it back for Glass.
Too many guys on the ice there for Canada.
Did they get him?
Nope.
They had 6 on for a while.
Yeah, Glass made a play with the puck when he was the 6th guy. He was the guy going off the ice, and he had the puck on his stick. So, and there you see Andre Tournier right in Fantilli's ear. You can look at it here. Because someone, Ford just changed for Glass, stepped out on the ice, and Glass gets this pass right here. There is a clear 6 guys on the ice, and it was all happening quickly. No penalty.
Count Andre Tournier among those impressed by the early look at Fantilli.
I guess Fantilli had been over in Europe when the draft lottery was held. Finding out where he's likely to play, Anaheim.
That's a real nice consolation prize.
Yeah.
That's a really good consolation prize.
For the Ducks, and it's not a bad place to live either. For Fantilli.
Nicely called against Canada. 6:05 to go here. You're going to look at Justin Barron from Halifax. He was one of the 4 players who played for Tournier in the 2021 World Junior. Canada rolled through that tournament until they ran into Spencer Knight and Team USA in the gold medal game, won a silver medal.
A nice year. One of the several good young defensemen of the Montreal Canadiens.
You like his passing, right? That's your.
He really can snap it around crisply. Not only does he see it, but the actual mechanics, the physical skill of passing it, flat and hard. He's good at that, which good players like.
Zarich has spent the entire game arguing with the linesmen and the referees.
Has he won one yet? Face-off or argument?
A face-off or an argument, because he lost both there. Bear up for Toffoli, chips that down, and Canada will change. Sabolskas to Zarich. Up ahead, Zirkal shoots, Montembeault save, and the rebound skipped away from Giannis Yaks. McBain stepped into Yaks. Now Sabolskas shoots, it goes off a leg and wide. Brad Hunt plays it around. Carcone. Oh, Yaks.
Good finish by McBain, though.
Up there by McBain. Yaks back with it. Feeds that down to A-Ball's jam play at the center of the goal, stopped by Montembeault. Here's Uyghur on it. Lifts that back to center ice and down to the Latvian zone as Kristaps Zile picks it up. Montebo leaves it there for Hunt. He's fashioned a nice NHL career for himself after being signed as a free agent out of college by Edmonton 10 years ago. Now played back across. Valeno with a shot deflected wide by Zile. Rebound, score! From the corner, Sammy Blais shot it, and it banks in to make it 4-0.
You watch Tyler Toffoli try to do it. So maybe there's something to this.
That just stunned this crowd.
Sammy Blais always got something to say on the ice. He's a real energetic agitator out there, and he makes the first play, slides it through to Valeno. Valeno misses the net as it's blocked, but Silovs, who was out challenging.
It's below the goal line.
You got to get this up and ideally get it into his feet or his hip, and he gets it into his hip. Now the conversation is, was goalie interference here by Lucic? Now Milan Lucic does a good job staying away from him.
The other question would be, was it offside on the lead pass? But
no, I don't think either one of those things.
Well, Sammy Blais back in St. Louis. 9 goals in 31 games this year.
He's David Perron. He can only play in St. Louis.
Strangest thing.
And he was good there. It didn't work from the Rangers injury, but it really worked great for him there. But back in St. Louis, comfortable and confident.
Who was the guy that mostly only scored in Arizona?
That was number 17.
We'll think 4-0 Canada leads here in the second.
Fourth goal for Team Canada, scored by number 79, Samuel Lutty. Assisted by number 19, Adon Press, and number 77, Fred Hahn. At 35-12.
Interference. Penalty shot. Wash out. Good.
It's day one of the 2023 World Championship, just after 9:30 local time here. These Latvian fans had a long runway today.
That's a good description. They're enjoying themselves, even though their team got out to a tough start to this game.
They really want to make the quarters. Their goal will be to make the quarters. So if you look at it, there's going to go Slovakia tomorrow, Czechs on Monday. That's the hardest part of their schedule, except for Switzerland. But they got to make hay against the teams they should beat. And the problem for Latvia has been, in recent years, they don't beat the teams they should.
Right, they squeak out a result against a Switzerland or a Slovakia, but they have a hard time. They drop one against Kazakhstan.
Right. So last year, 1-goal losses to Finland and Sweden. Played pretty well, but again, they lost them. 2 years ago, they lose to Kazakhstan and Norway in overtime. Kraus knocked down by Belinskas as it swept back down to the Latvian zone. Kenic shoots, that was blocked. And now Glass goes back after it. Lead pass is picked off and brought in.
Jake Neighbors.
Jake Neighbors, the 13th forward, gets a shift for Canada.
Hasn't got to play very much. It's a young guy. He's here for the experience, but try to get him on the ice whenever you can if you're the coaches.
21-year-old from the St. Louis Blues. Blues GM Doug Armstrong is the head of the management group for this tournament as well. Along with Steve Yzerman, Shane Doan. That pass misses Yaks and is back down to the Latvian zone.
We had a good catch-up with Shane Doan yesterday. practice. Doug Armstrong are here. Steve Yzerman not yet in attendance.
Blue cards, his pocket pick there by McBain. Rehards, blue cards. Moves back through the slot, picked off by Uyghur, and a lead pass for Fantilli. In comes Fantilli. Off balance, gets it right back. Feeds that back to Myers. For Carcone. Back to Tyler Myers, walks right in. Myers decides not to wrap it. Myers walks in, trying to feed that back across. The pass goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Tyler Myers, along with Tyler Toffoli, the only other Canadian player who has played at the World Championship.
Right.
And you get, Tyler Myers is in his 30s now. He's been an NHL player for 13 years. And to choose to come to this tournament 4 weeks after your season ended, there's a lot of credit for a guy like Tyler Myers. Hasn't always been a smooth road for him in Vancouver. A chance to play for something, represent your country. He jumped all over it. It's good to see.
It's funny, you know, that, I mean, you think about the players that have come for Canada in the last decade. Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid. I mean, the list goes on and on of good players who have come here and talked about what a great experience it is.
You get to meet 25 new players. You get to learn from them. You get to represent Canada playing hockey. Another penalty coming up to Latvia. There's a lot. And you get a chance to win.
Valeno down to Krause, drops that back to Bear, snaps that pass across to Hunt.
Oh, nice pass.
To Valeno. Valeno shoots. It's off the stick of Cebulskis, up and out of play.
For all these guys who are so hyper-competitive, the chance to win, compete, and win at the end, like that's the draw. As Dogovich heads to the box for a high stick, Canada will go on the power play for whatever's left of this period. Oh, goodness. Right across the face of Sammy Blais, the most recent goal scorer.
That guy staring at the screen is fixated on the penalty.
Power play who's gotten one. Mackenzie Uyghur goal.
Yeah.
Here in the second period.
He's back out there now. Uyghur. For Glass to Quinn. Here's Quinn with it.
Quinn quarterbacking, even though he's very much a shooter as well. Wicked release.
To Foley. Got knocked down, but picks it up for Glass. Poked ahead by Uyghur. Memchich trying to clear it out. Now it's moved down by Chukste. Right on goal, and Montembeault knocks that away. Minute and a half to go here in the second period. Canada a 4-0 lead. Quinn for Glass. Back across to Lucic. We'll head right to the front of the net once he drops that puck off, and now there he goes.
No one's even going to try to move him.
Toffoli shoots. Save made by Svilov. Up the center ice it goes. Uyghur picks it back up.
See Toffoli tap his stick on the ice on the way off because he didn't get that one high enough to get over top of the pad of Svilov.
Quinn back across to Glass in the final minute of the second period. Cody Glass drops it off to Joseph. Krebs to Joseph. To Glass, back across. Krebs centers it, and that's tipped wide by Blais. He's been right in the middle of things here this evening as Zirkals moves in. Short-handed on Krebs.
Back check by Krebs.
Lay back around for Joseph. Canada the day off tomorrow. Will play Slovenia on Sunday. Fantilli has that kicked away. Joseph up ahead for Krebs. Krebs in the high slot. Fantilli tapped that behind his back. Almost got a shot away. Now Fantilli centers it. And it's moved down the ice by Freyberg. As time expires here at the end of the second period. And Canada extends its lead with a couple of second period goals to 4-0 over Latvia here in Riga.
Shots on goal in the second period. Team Canada 12, Team Latvia.
Throw up 2-point periods to get stuck in the interview. Awesome, yep, already, yep.
The score between Team Sweden and Team Germany after the second
Mackenzie, a
period
goal and
is
assist through 2 periods
0-0.
in your first major tournament representing Team Canada. How much fun has this been for you?
Oh, it's been a blast. I'm having so much fun. Crowd's great. Riga's been awesome so far, and let's keep this thing going.
Your goal came on a power play. What are you guys seeing out there on your PP?
I mean, there's lots of space, right? It's bigger ice, but we just try to work it around a bit, and Quinter made a nice play back to me and a great screen in front of the net. It was wide open.
On a tournament like this, it's usually a slow build on the team. What kind of stuff are you working on in this game?
Forward check, neutral zone, and defensive structure, all 3 zones. Just trying to work on our game and get better every game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Beautiful tournament. Welcome to
Resultat eksportperioden för Latvia måling Kanada 4. Score of the second period. Leave Latvia 0, the Canada 4.
Veteen pavākie otrajā periodā Kanāda 12, Latvija 7.
Shots on goal for the second period. Leave Canada 12, leave Latvia 7.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go! What's the point? Stop! Stop! Move! Play the pass! Play the pass! Stop! On the watch, on the watch.
Rodrigo Abols, one of the veterans of this Latvian team, playing in his 7th World Championship, also played in the 2022 Olympics. His team down 4-0 to Team Canada. Mackenzie Weegar has a goal and an assist in this game so far. Peyton Krebs has a couple of assists as well.
You won't remember it, but that save Montembeault made on Abols in the second period, point blank in front, would have made it 2-1 at the time. And allowed Canada to stretch it out against Arthur Silov, who came in 5 minutes into the game in relief. Been pretty sharp. Montembeault has looked rock solid in Canada's net so far. A perfect 15 for 15 through 2.
Devin Levi of the Buffalo Sabres is his backup tonight. And there is Haris Vigalinch, the second-year national team head coach.
And you wonder, with Silov, is it going to be Gudlevskis tomorrow? Is that why he's not dressed? It's Slovakia, of the first 3 games, that seems to be the most winnable.
So Putinovs was their guy in the pre-tournament. Silov's had a good year in the American League. Gudlevskis played in Sweden this year, and they're all Svenskan, the second Swedish league, and helped Modo, the famous franchise in that league, get promotion back to the Swedish Hockey League next year.
And had an excellent year statistically as well.
Now in a lower league, but still. Gudlevskis was the hero at the Olympics 9 years ago.
And you wonder, it seems like when they go back to Putinovs right for a game tomorrow, probably not. Interesting conversation for the Latvian coaching staff to try to work through tonight with a short turnaround.
And the game against Slovakia would be one that they would look to, if they're going to make the quarters, probably one they have to win. Centering pass, a quick chance in front, knocked away. And a good look there for Oskars Batnya. He plays for Jukurit in the Finnish league, not Jokerit, but Jukurit, coached by Olli Jokinen.
Olli Jokinen is the coach?
And he's good.
Really? You never would have thought that in his early days, where he was a free spirit player and personality.
Yeah, no, he's a really highly regarded coach in the Finnish league. A lot of talk about him potentially being a national team coach at some point.
I'm looking forward to talking to Olli about that.
Ethan Bear swings it back across, kicked in by Barron, kept alive by Glass. He finds Krebs. Peyton Krebs, a centering pass, just missed Krause. And lost to Krause, back across to Barron. Justin Barron, down to Krebs. Peels away from Chukste. In comes Lawton with the steal. Scott Lawton moves around Batya. Feeds that across to Quinn. Jack Quinn shoots short side. Silov's knocked that away.
No idea where the puck was. centered out to the opposite side.
Rudolph Balcers comes in. And angled off there by Brad Hunt. Kenich threw it ahead, but the pass goes to Toffoli. 2-on-1 with Quinn. Tyler Toffoli walks in and shoots. Silov saves. Quinn trying to reach the rebound, couldn't get to it.
Shots on net is that for Tyler Toffoli in this game? Must be 4 or 5. Jack Quinn's getting tired of being a decoy on the 2-on-1s.
Get used to it.
Well, that's one of those ones in practice, you turn your stick upside down. Well, I'm not going to get it, so I'm just here for...
You never, tell me you never did that.
In practice. Never in a game.
Balcers. And that knocked wide. Balcers goes in hard after Fantilli. And here's Carcone with it. Up ahead for Barron. He finds Fantilli, backhands that shot. And Silovs knocks that away. McBain had the pass out of his reach. Now Zile back to pick it up. Zile, laid pass to Bjorn Bukart, centers it, and a great chance for Zaric, goes off the crossbar and out. What a look there for Andrus Zaric, and it just missed.
Complete breakdown. Mackenzie Weegar, the right defenseman, thinks he has support, but it's Fantilli who's late on the change. Lucic has stepped on the ice, but he can't get involved in the play yet. So he sort of stepped, but wasn't able to really back check. And a clean cut by Zaric on a 2-on-0 brings it off the bar on Latvia's best chance. And that's one where the bench has to let Mackenzie Weegar, you can't go there. You gotta let him know. If you're Lucic, like, you're not on the ice yet. You're waiting for Fantilli to get close enough to change.
Play chops it back out. Fired back in by Zile, and an icing call against the Latvians.
Generally speaking, Canada's been relatively clean in avoiding those kind of miscommunications. They are playing a system that they're not familiar with. They're trying to make the adjustments on defensive zone coverages and neutral zone forechecks.
Games for the Jets. Here's Valeno on it. Valeno played for Canada in the 2020 World Junior Championship in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. Won a gold medal there. Rink wide pass. Here's Zaric again. Myers knocked his helmet off. He's got to leave the ice.
He's going to get a penalty for it.
And the trail ref made the call. A high sticking penalty will go against Myers. That's a very high stick. And Latvia gets an early power play here in the third.
They don't need to give Zaric anything else to complain about. So
he's had a long-running dialogue with the officials, linesmen, referees.
So the shove in the back, probably okay. Now, that's a hand in the back of the head with a guy who's completely bent over, so his head is waist high. Looked like a cross check. Maybe it's more of a rough, but either way, Canada to the penalty kill.
Latvia back on the power play. Yaks across to Abols. Slides that down in the Canadian zone. Krause goes back after, but off the dasher, up and out.
Strange bounce on the cross corner dump in. Roland Kennins had a rambunctious game so far.
Played a handful of games for Vancouver over a couple of seasons, and a decade ago, 38 games played for the Canucks.
He's a pretty skilled guy. Looks like he's more of an energy, physical guy, but he can really shoot it. Give the opportunity.
They have three guys that can really fire it. But that pass is picked off by McBain. In short-handed, McBain knocked away by Yaks. Andrashis, Abols, and Kenich are the triggermen in their power play mostly. Valeno slides that back, and
so
Middleton.
Watch this game here. Joe Valeno, the Czech, I don't remember him killing penalties with regularity in Detroit. another aspect of coming to play. You get to do some stuff you maybe don't get to do on your NHL teams.
And Valeno wrists it down. The first player ever granted exceptional player status in the Quebec Major Junior League. Drafted by Detroit with a first-round pick. One of the picks they got from Vegas for Thomas Tatar. They got a first, a second, and a third. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, he was the first-round pick. In comes Richard Bucharts. Moved off the puck by Quinn. I'm assuming didn't kill penalties much for Buffalo this year either.
No.
Bear on it. Zirkal has it stolen by Bear, and Ethan Bear wrists it back down the ice. Valinskas fires it down a Canadian zone. Icing, though, called against Latvia on the power play.
Puck skips along there. Something to watch. It is very warm outside, which we quite appreciate. Lovely days.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah.
But there are 2 games a day. We're in the 3rd period, 6th period of the day. Tomorrow, there are 3 games on Saturday and Sunday, 12, 4, and 8 local. So periods 8 and 9 of the day, albeit early in the tournament, it's a challenge for the ice crew to keep things fresh and flat.
Final second of this Latvian power play. Roberts Bucharts lays that across. The pass missed Gross Balcers, and Neighbors brings it out. As Myers steps back on. Remember seeing Tyler Myers at the World Junior Championship in '09. One of the best skating big men I've ever seen. Just
it's very smooth and fluid for a guy his size.
Now drop back. Valeno with a shot. Kulas makes the stop. Here's Blayback with it.
It's one thing to be fast. It's another thing to be smooth. And for a guy his size, that's where he separates himself from other big men.
Indrashis plays that down to Batya. Batya centers it. The pass missed Chukta. And Chuksta couldn't get a shot away. Here's Kenich with it. Kenich. Chuksta shoots that wide. Indrashis back around to Kenich. Kenich had that shot blocked by Lucic. And that puck goes high off the glass in that corner. The Zamboni comes out. Now back across. A hard shot taken by Freebergs. And a save made there by Montebo.
A couple times in this game, that line of Valeno and Lucic and Blay have had a hard time sorting things out in their own end.
Dogovic winds in. The Latvian captain drops it back. Mancic shoots. And that deflected wide. Carconi. And that slide away. Toms Andersons comes in. He falls, collided with a linesman. And Dogovic back on it. Fantilli. Lead pass to Carconi. Trying to slide that back in front. The pass was broken up by Sabolskas. Yanis Yaks works in. Yaks in on Middleton. Rolling puck in front. Knocked away by Fantilli. And Fantilli brings it back out. Drops it off to Carconi. Middleton centers it. Chipped on goal there by Lawton. Another chance in front. Fantilli turned away. Might hit the post there. Great look for Adam Fantilli. Bucharts being shot there by Uyghur. Chance now for Lawton along with Quinn, but Lawton couldn't reach it.
Crowd hasn't gone anywhere.
Down 4-0. That's the one thing about them. They will not lose their enthusiasm as the tournament goes along. Centering pass by Zaric, just missed there. Chukstay. That is pocket picked. And Lawton lifts it back out to Foley, goes after it. Corrals that rolling puck as Canada's changing to Foley. Drops it back to Barron in front for Quinn with a shot. That deflected wide. Barron throws it back in front, and Freebergs has it back for Latvia. This is a proud hockey country. You think about great Latvian players. Carlos Skrastins, the late Latvian defenseman, passed away in the Yaroslavl plane crash. But he set the record for most consecutive games played by a defenseman that was later broken by Jay Bomeister and Keith Yandel. But Scratches was a terrific player, and this team very much embodies his approach. Latvia down 4-0 to Canada in 2021, beat the Canadians 2-0, and that night and the next day, Latvian fans left flowers at the Canadian embassy.
Sort of tongue-in-cheek.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry for your loss.
They do that to the embassies of any team they beat.
So hopefully the florists around town will be busy if you're a Latvian fan.
They love their flowers here.
That flower shop by the hotel is something.
Krebs. For Krause with a quick shot that deflects wide. Krause opened the scoring in this game 52 seconds in. Canada scored twice in the first 5 minutes. Chase Penanov's the Latvian starting netminder. That shot floated wide by Glass. By the way, the Latvian goalie coach is Arturs Urban, the Latvian legend.
And the Canadian goalie coach,
Justin Pogge,
who was playing 2 weeks ago.
Yes. His team in Germany, Wolfsburg, got knocked out by Munich in the semifinals of the German League playoffs. He went straight to the Canadian training camp. Zile sends it back in front. It's tapped wide by Batnya.
Walked right in the under-18s, then the training camp, and of course one of the best Canadian World Junior goaltenders.
2006 in Vancouver, 3 shutouts for Canada en route to a gold medal. Lucic up ahead for Blais. In comes Sammy Blais, plays it down to Valeno. Inside 9 to go here in the third period. Here's Uyghur on it. Uyghur drops it back to Blais, tees it up. Little slap pass there, tipped wide by Uyghur. Middleton. Long wrist shot tipped wide by Lucic. And that puck skipped off the glass, up and out of play. 8:37 to go in the third period, day 1 of the 2023 World Championship. Latvia hosting this tournament for the 3rd time. Back in 2006 was the first, 2 years ago. So last year Tampere was one of the host cities, but again there were some issues with attendance in terms of travel restrictions. So Riga and Tampere get to co-host this year and get a redo. which they both deserve. Lead pass for Toffoli. In comes Tyler Toffoli along with Quinn. Toffoli drops it off to Lawton. Drops it back to Quinn. Quinn, rink wide. Uyghur walks it and shoots. And Svilov juggles the rebound and hangs on.
It's good battling through traffic for Svilovs, as Uyghur's already got one. And nice little roll play, find the underneath seam. Uyghur all by himself. He does have a bit of the old school. That's a bit more of a snapper, but wrister as well. I think that one hit Lawton's skate down into the path, and Svilovs stays with it. Uyghur expected better from himself, but only that puck got all the way clean into.
Quite a journey for Uyghur. It was a 7th round pick of Florida back in 2013, coming off a Memorial Cup win with Halifax in the Quebec Junior League.
A very good player. He was in Florida, and well, a lot was made about the trade. He actually was good in Calgary this year. Didn't put up quite as many points, didn't have the same kind of role, but.
Now McBain centers it. Neighbors feeds that, and a great chance there for Michael Carcone. And it goes off the goaltender Svilov, up and out of play.
This Carcone has been impressive to me. He's been on pucks, he's been strong with it. Clearly has a nose for the net. Makes pretty responsible plays. Good passing here, good touch. Oh, double nutmeg.
Yeah. Couldn't find a spot to play in the Ontario League, so went to Quebec, scored 47 goals in his final year in Drummondville.
We're gonna have a scouts meeting throughout the IIHF.
Well, shades of Claude Giroux, same thing for him. McBain works in, and McBain has that roll off his stick. Now McBain back on it to Carcone. Centers it, Neighbors with a chance, but the puck at his feet, and he couldn't get a shot away. Carcone looks back in front, bouncing puck is knocked away by Zirkov. Richards Bucharts back to pick it up. Inside 7.5 to go here in the 3rd period. Perrin back around to Krause.
Oh, careful.
High hopes for Latvia entering this tournament. They've got a couple of guys back in North America that might still get. They've got a roster spot open, a chance in front, flipped wide by Balzer. Involved in the American League playoffs. Glass works in. Cheats. Moves out ahead, and the pass misfired from Denis Smirnovs, who's barely played in this game. Smirnovs won a Swiss League championship with Geneva this year. Their first ever.
That's amazing. First time Geneva's ever won the Swiss League.
They're the oldest franchise in the league. They've been around since 1905. Jake Middleton to Krebs. By the way, that's a league you don't want to buy a house in if you're coaching. 6 of the 14 head coaches in Switzerland were fired this year.
Low tolerance for anything but excellence.
Right, but Uyghur works in, feeds it back in front, they score. Boleto on the feed from Uyghur. He's got 3 points, and Canada's got a 5-0 lead. What a pass from Uyghur.
Sweet was that dish. Anyone could have tapped that in. Boleto gets one. You'll love it. His first. Mackenzie Uyghur, as you mentioned, 3-point game. Turnover there and head up the whole way. Attacks, draws a couple. You get Balser staring at the potential shot. Look at Balsers. Just locked right in on Uyghur, and oh yes, right underneath the stick. Well done.
9 goals with Detroit this year for Joe Boleto, his 2nd full year in the NHL.
Slow progression, slow and steady. And it's nice in a tournament like this to get a point, to get something in the first game. Kind of get you off and running.
And Mike, we've seen it how many times where guys come here, get some momentum, and carry it right over the next year.
Dylan Cousins is a good player. Had a great tournament last year. Became a point-a-game player this year. I'm not saying that's no reason why, but didn't hurt him.
So a 5-0 Canadian lead. Ethan Bear picks it back up. Czechs have a good team here. The Swiss have A decent-looking roster with a big hole in it with 4 names that they could fill in.
Well, just do the math on what Swiss players might be available to come over. Jersey lost.
If Hischier, Siegenthaler, Schmid come over and they get Fiala.
Unlikely to get Meyer just with his contract situation outstanding.
Right.
But you get those other 4 on an already pretty good team full of excellent domestic players. Nino Niederreiter is already over here.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting to break through Switzerland.
They've come close. A couple of silver medals in the last decade. That long shot knocked down by Montemo from Dogovic. And there's 5 to go here in the 3rd period. Carconi along with McBain. And McBain goes after it. McBain throws that back. The pass missed everywhere. Does he ever skate like his dad? The resemblance is uncanny.
He's very effective. Long reach, strong guy. I think he's going to be more definitive in his decisions with the puck. I think he almost double clutches, not wanting to make a bad play, so he loses the option to make the play. Because he gets the puck all the time because of all the good work he does away from it.
Myers plays it back in. Now centering pass, Carconi backhand shot stopped by Silovs. Rebound loose in front. Great chance. McBain scores. McBain in a battle in front with Chukste is able to slide it home, and it's 6-0 Canada. And Fantilli a big part of that as well.
And Carcone in on the play. I was just talking about McBain getting defended with the puck. Well, when you got an empty net 4 feet away, it's pretty easy what to do with it. And Silovs is unfortunately can't get up right now. That is not good at all for Latvia. Okay, he's getting up on his feet.
Good cycle. There's good work. Well done by Fantilli. Get it up to Carcone. He chips it around, and McBain eventually throws it in empty net as he's getting tackled by Chukste.
McBain went to Boston College for 4 years. But his first NHL season this year, his first full year, 12 goals in 60 games for Arizona.
Which is fine. 16 goal pace. That is more than enough.
He was a
for a checking player.
He was a 3rd round pick in Minnesota in 2018. They moved him to Arizona for a second. Looked like he wasn't going to sign off his senior year. So
got to play in the Olympics while he was still at school.
He is Adam Fantilli's roommate in this tournament.
Keep those college guys together. I think Fantilli should pick up an assist on that goal as well.
Yes, he did. Got his first point. Fantilli had a really good World Junior for Canada.
Yeah.
As an underage player, but Connor Bedard's
he got
supernova,
a little bit lost in the vortex. But as that tournament went on, Fantilli got better. And when the games meant more, he was more noticeable. And for a guy who's not a pro to join all these pros, get on the board so you can play, make it a little bit more comfortable.
Balcers moves in, drops that back, and the shot by Kenich goes high. And Freibergs plays it back. Polinskas knocks that back. Here's Batya with it. Batya slides that back down. Freibergs on it now. And Blay backhands it back out.
Leno taking it off Luce. I got it.
One of the most amazing things about Milan Lucic, in the last decade in the NHL, he's missed 14 games.
That's
5 this year was a healthy scratch.
That's wild
for a guy who plays the way he plays.
And fought a lot when he was younger. To never be hurt, that's impressive.
He hurt a lot of other people.
Did he ever? Here's the latest, Jack McBain.
That's a good, the coaches will like this goal though. It was forecheck, turnover, puck support, get it to the front, beat him to the front. A lot of the elements of how they would like Canada to play were executed on that goal.
Here's Middleton with it. Down to Neighbors. Jake Neighbors. Back to Ethan Bear with a shot that deflected just wide. Gosh, he's had his pocket picked there by Toffoli. And Tyler Toffoli. Back to Bear. Lead pass to Freybergs. Throws that back in front for Roberts Bucards, but he couldn't get a stick on that. And here's Quinn with it, along with Toffoli. Inside, 2 to go here in the third period. Fantilli up for McBain. And here's Joseph with it. Picked up by Mamchits. And Myers held the line for Canada. Carconi now had it kicked away and regroups at center ice. And Carconi rips it around. And they're drumming right to the end here in Riga. Back in action tomorrow night against Slovakia. That'll be another great atmosphere.
They'll have some company in the stands with a lot of Slovakian fans that are.
There's a ton of Slovaks here. You know, a late penalty coming here.
A slash by Yaks.
Yes.
A high stick up in
Fantilli was
face.
clipped. So Canada gets a late power play here with 1:04 to go.
And you wouldn't want to throw out the top group, but no, it's got up over the visor. But at the same time, you need to work on it. So it kind of makes sense that you're going to put on the guys that would be on if it was a 1-goal game.
Right.
Not to rub it in, not to be disrespectful, just because you need practice. And so, sure enough, a bit of a second unit. Certainly, Jake Middleton is not the usual power play participant, but Valeno, Fantilli, Krebs are out there.
And Chukste sends that down. Final minute now of the third period. Brought in by Fantilli. That pass picked off by Kenich. And he'll send it down. In comes Valeno with it. Brings that back around, and the puck moved out by Baltzers. In short-handed. Baltzers shoots. Montembeault save, and he'll squeeze that.
Cannot get caught off ice right now if you're Canada at all. You're 15 seconds away. Montembeault has been really good. And Andre Tournier has been pretty clear about who he thinks is the starting goaltender.
Yeah, he's
kind of given it to Montembeault, said he's earned it. He's been great through camp. And the other guys will get their shots, but if it goes according to plan, it will be Montembeault playing the big games.
Time winds down here in the third period, and Canada opens with a strong performance against the host team, overcoming a loud partisan crowd to take it 6-0. As Sam Montembeault stops all 23 shots he faces for the shutout.
That's about as good as it could have gone for Canada. Everyone involved, lots of scoring, spread out to the lineup. Goaltending was rock solid. Pretty good defensively, not perfect. Some room for improvement there, but got into the tournament, worked through the crowd and the atmosphere and what that felt like. And skated away comfortably, playing pretty close to a full 60-minute game. That's pretty well done by Canada.
So we'll get the player of the game presentations, and then the Canadian anthem. So Canada back in action on Sunday against Slovenia. Latvia right back at it tomorrow night against the Slovaks.
Mackenzie Weegar, so solid, 3 points.
Yeah.
Prowse with a couple goals for a couple points. Batnia had a lot of opportunities for Latvia.
By the way, Sweden beat Germany 1-0.
Wow.
Third period goal by Oscar Lindberg early in the third, the only goal of the game. And earlier we saw Finland get upset by the United States, 4-1 in the opening game there. Here, Czechia beat Slovakia 3-2.
Official sponsor of the 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The prizes will be presented by Edgar Bonsis, the CEO of the organizing committee, and Marian Ziborska, owner of the West.
Number 17, number 17, Mix Indrashi.
Be a big thrill at home.
Yeah. Long way to go here.
They know the games that matter most to them.
The key for them is to win the games they're supposed to win.
Norway, Kazakhstan,
Slovenia. You got to win 4 to make the quarters, probably. So,
Number 52, Mackenzie Weegar.
Switzerland, Slovakia, Czechia, they got to get a win against one of those, probably.
Yeah. I think Mackenzie Weegar is going to be a very important player for Canada in this tournament.
Goal and 2 assists today. Looked great.
Dear all, please rise if you are able to for the national anthem of Canada.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions. The last question, answer in Latvian.
Okay, second question in Latvian.
No, third question. Okay.
Some days it can be difficult to get through to each other.
All right.
Other days, it could also be as simple as something else.
Kaspers, what part of the Canadian game gave your team trouble today?
Well, we know they're one of the best teams in the world, and they play super fast and aggressive. And if you make a couple small mistakes, they always punish you. And start of the game, we showed it.
What will the team take from this game into your game against Slovakia tomorrow?
Well, we had a good speed and a good battle, but we just couldn't convert into the goals. So I like the effort, and we want to keep that.
What does it mean to the team to have your home fans here in the crowd cheering you on through the entire game?
Mūsu fani vienmēr mūs ir atbalstījuši, un tas ir mūsu 6. spēlētājs. Tā kā cerēsim, ka viņi turpinās nākt un atbalstīt un palīdzēs mums tikt tālāk. Thank you.
Uyghur, you're first.
I'll get you again.
This is host broadcast, so yeah, we're doubling down on you. Yeah, you got to show everybody the haircut.
Closer. It's good.
Live? Okay.
Okay. Can't swear.
Mackenzie, your first international game with Team Canada, a goal and 2 assists. Is this how you drew this one up?
You know what? I don't really know how I would have drawn this up. It's just an honor to wear the jersey. You know, we're representing the whole country, and you know, I love my country, and we got to keep this thing rolling here.
A great game for the team in general. Everyone getting in on the score sheet here. How important will that be moving forward through the tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of confident guys. You know, a lot of guys got on the score sheet, but for us, it's not about, you know, getting on the score sheet. I think it's about winning and improving every game in all areas.
Big 6-0 win. Let's talk about goaltending.
Yeah.
Sam Montembeault getting a shutout in his first appearance for Team Canada.
He looked great. He looked great and hungry too. He's making some big stops for us when we need it. He looks confident. He plays the puck so well. He's a smart goalie, and you know, I'm happy for him. I knew him a bit in Florida, and he's come a long way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job out there. That's awesome. So I know you played World Juniors, but you didn't play a game in the tournament, right?
I was just
cool.
a VIP fan. I got all the free gear, but
I picked all the tall guys for this one. Here, shift this way just a little bit. Come to me. Sam, first and foremost, congratulations on the shutout in your first international game with Team Canada that you've played. Talk to me about what that feels like and what it was like out there.
It feels awesome. I think we played a good game today. Obviously, I was a little nervous about any game. Didn't know what to expect. It was my first international game, like playing a team that was playing at home. But it was fun. Like I said, we played a good game, played a full 60 minutes, and it was a great way to start a tournament.
Let's talk about this raucous crowd that was out here. Have you ever played in front of fans that were that loud and rambunctious the entire 60 minutes?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, we played a pregame tournament in Hungary too, and these guys, they must be tired when they go back home. They jump all around the whole game. They're really loud, so it's always fun.
What's it been like for you so far, just experiencing this tournament with this group of guys?
It's been fun. Like, we had a great group of guys. Like, since the beginning of the tournament, everybody we did good at the pre-tournament in Budapest. We had a lot of fun there. Now we're just focusing on the tournament.
Just 1 second. I have to ask you a question in French. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
In French?
Yeah, you answer in French. All right. So I'm just going to ask you about the game and your shutout. That's what they want. So for RDS, just so you're aware. Cool. Sam, a fantastic outing for yourself in your first international event, wearing Team Canada jersey. Talk to me about how that feels.
C'est vraiment un bon sentiment. C'est le premier match international. J'étais un peu nerveux évidemment au début. Je ne savais pas trop à quoi m'attendre. En plus, on jouait contre l'équipe locale ici. Ça a été très bruyant, mais c'est une belle façon de partir le tournoi. Puis on est bien contents.
Congrats. Way to go out there. You look great, pal. Thank you, Kelso. All right. You guys know anything?
No, it's good.
Everyone stay back. Yeah.
The 2023
Be more aggressive about it.
Featuring all statistics on your favorite players, your favorite teams, and real-time game updates at your fingertips. Find the Skodaverse in the IIHF app, explore the action, and dive into a new digital world. Play and win amazing prizes. Available on all smart devices. In multiple
The best players of each team will be awarded with an award by Raiffeisen Bank International, official sponsor of the 2023 IIHF.
Raiffeisen Bank International.
The best players of each team will be awarded with an award by Raiffeisen Bank International.